Hi everyone. Shua Allegra here with a new episode of the Shua Allegra podcast. And if you've been following me this year, you know that I've been inviting some of my favorite people to talk about different topics, things that we all experience in one way or another. And some of the topics might be um, maybe you're not there yet, especially the topic we're talking about today. But I'm sure that through what Shay will be sharing, there'll be nuggets of wisdom for all of us. So today we'll be talking about embracing the joys and changes of midlife. So I'll give Sherry a chance to introduce herself, and then we'll get started.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Cherie, and I am an author, speaker, and a transformational coach for women in their 50s.
Awesome. Awesome. So glad to have you here. And then it's just been you and I met. Has it been 2 years now, or close to 2 years, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
We met at an event, a local event here. She and I live in the same area, South Central PA. And then since then, we've been doing a few things together. We did a webinar together, and then we wrote a book together, and then here we are doing the podcast. So Sherry, and I know, you do this for a living, you said being a transformational coach for women in the 50s is something that you do. But even your personal life, it's been fun just to watch you, and I only have known you for 2 years, but how you embrace, being in your 50s, whether it's through the blog post that, you shared a few weeks ago on the Grace and Hope Consulting website, but also just as a person, the things that you post on your author page or in the group that you have on Facebook. It's just nice to see that for you, life didn't stop. Most of us would think, oh my goodness, 50, I get there, it's like, okay, I want to get there, but once I get there, I don't know if I want to think about being there, So if you're going to share, I guess, just a few, nuggets there, we can get started there, like, how you are embracing your 50s and maybe how a woman can embrace their 50s as well.
Yeah, so, this all started actually a few years ago when I was 49, and I was driving from the grocery store with my husband, and I was feeling kind of down, knowing that the following year I was going to turn 50, and I didn't want to be that stigma of, oh, we're turning 50 and now what are we going to do with our life? So I was playing around with some ideas in my head, and I thought, what about like embracing feisty 50s, right? Like just being a firecracker and getting out there and enjoying the world and not allowing our age to define us. So so I just kind of got that idea and started rolling with it and talking to other women who are in their 50s and they're feeling blah and they just don't know where to turn. So I've been helping them see that if they they change up their life, like try some things, get out of their comfort zone and find some excitement.
Yes, yes. And I think the word that stuck to me as you spoke was excitement. I think it's so easy to get into just the routine. It's life, right? Life is tough, and yes, it is. I'm not taking that lightly, but I think as we go through, we age, if you want, as we keep getting older, it's so easy to just get into that routine and feel like this is all we got, right? So then it kind of steals and we rob ourselves from that excitement, don't you think?
I agree. Yeah. And I think too, one of my blogs was about, living with your adult children or even empty nest. And, we have this tendency to put so much energy into our children and raising them. And then what happens when they move away? We have to figure out who we are again. And that happens in our late 40s, early 50s. So, I found that when my son went to school, I really did miss seeing him walk down the stairs and saying good morning, but that lasted about a week. And then I was like, wow, this freedom, I can do whatever I want. I can make whatever we want for dinner. We don't have to worry about, is he going to complain what we're eating? And, I got into this routine of really enjoying finding myself again and my husband and I reconnecting and finding some fun things to do. And then he graduated and now he's getting his master's. So he moved back home. So now there's a whole nother dynamic of, oh, great. Now he's here with us, but we're finding a rhythm and we know it's short term. He's going to move out and live on his own. And then it's going to be finding myself again, right? It's like I'm that mom, and I want to, when he moves out, enjoy life again. I want to, meet up with girlfriends and have wine or dinner or go zip lining or, find some really fun things to do.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think for all what you said, it's like you have to be intentional about it. Whether your child is still at home or out of the home or comes back, I think it's just with all of that, like you say, finding those fun things to do and getting together with friends and kind of rekindling that love with with your spouse. I think it's just with having the intention, like intentionally wanting to make it happen, right? Otherwise, I think life just passes you by, and that's that goes for any age. And I think women in general, especially when we become moms, it's our kids are everything, and there's a place for that. I'm not taking that away, but I think we often lose ourselves in the roles that we play. If we only see ourselves as mom, then everything we do, is gets focused on motherhood, and then we don't know who we are, with outside of that. And I think that makes it even harder than when kids grow up and they're no longer in the home. Then we find ourselves like, oh, I have to, I have to rediscover myself or create a whole new identity because for so many years this is who I was. Rather than saying, oh, this is what I did. This was one of the functions that I play, one of the roles that I play, but there's more to us than just those roles that we play. So among you mentioned, like, having your child move out the house, and that's one big change that happens, often around the 50s. But what are some other changes that you think that women go through when they hit their 50s?
Oh, some of the other things, just hormonal changes, the menopause. I tell you, when when I started having the hot flashes and telling my husband at night, so winter comes and we have a heated blanket, and he loves that heated blanket. And I joke with him now. I'm like, oh, you need your baby blanket. You need this heated, comforting thing. I'm like, I don't want it on me. It's hot. I'd rather have the window open. I've got a fan going. The temperature set to 62 degrees in the house. And, he's like, but we need that blanket. Like, it's cold in here. So, we have that too. Crazy. So, I have some other friends who they do get the hot flashes that are really bad, where they're sweating and they're fanning themselves. Well, thankfully I haven't had that, but there's so much that is going on changing in our bodies. There's body image. I've gained a lot of weight in the past few years because of the hormones and because of just my body not being able to burn the fat like it used to. So I think that, we become really insecure about our bodies. And, I'm trying to embrace that. It's not easy when I see myself in pictures a few years ago till now, but, you know, I'm trying to make that change. And, I think that we as women, I think in general, the whole body image and loving ourselves and being okay with who we are. And I think as we get older, it is more difficult. But like I said, it's embracing it, right? It's just looking in the mirror and saying, I love you for who you are, and it's okay. And, it's challenging. It really is. These years are challenging. I remember my mom telling me, because I suffer from anxiety too, and my mom suffered from anxiety as well. And she told me once she hit 50, it disappeared. It was almost her brain told her, you don't have to care about anything anymore, right? It's just voila, you're 50, you're sitting tall and just gonna embrace life. And she said that's what she does. She's in her 70s now and she's still out there living her life. So it doesn't end. This is a time to, really reinvent yourself. What you want to do with your life. It could be anything. Start painting or write a book or take boxing lessons, something that you haven't been able to do before, and just explore this life, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, definitely. And I think sometimes like with reinventing yourselves, whether it's, at 50, or it's just because you're starting your career, or, after divorce, whatever it is, like you find yourself in that, in that season of life where just like, oh, something needs to change, or change is coming and you have no choice but to embrace it. And I think when we find ourselves there, it's almost like a second chance at life, honestly, or third or fourth. It doesn't matter how many, but it's like, okay, well, maybe one of those things you always wanted to do, they didn't get a chance to do. Those, like you said, start exploring those things and exploring old passions and old interests and hobbies that you can go dig back up against. I cannot have the time to do this right now. I can focus on this one. And yeah, and I love, your mom's story. Like that it's so cool. And yeah, turn 15 just to turn the anxiety off. I'm like, I love that. And I think too, like with age though, like often, maybe not so much in this culture, but like I just feel like I'm originally from Africa. So it's like we see older women, older people in general, as like wise people, So I think because obviously you have more life experience. I'm not saying that at 50, you're like that old, but I'm just thinking you've lived 50 years, you accumulated enough experience. Like some of the things that maybe you were worrying about before, doesn't really matter because you're like, what? I used to worry about this and then nothing happened. Or I worry about that and even the worst thing happened and I survived. I'm here to tell the story. So I think even that just that life experience in itself kind of give you more strength to kind of stand tall, I think. And so that in itself, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly what you're saying is, you do have that wisdom that you can share with others.
Hmm.
And, I do have friends who are younger than me and they, are, one of my friends has younger children
Hmm.
and she's in her 30s and, she's struggling and I can talk to her about, hey, you know what? Don't sweat it, like this is going to pass. It's okay. So I'm able to share that with the younger generation
Hmm.
and I can help with women in my age of, we can do this together. It's like holding hands and just joining together and saying, all right, you know what? This really stinks. We're getting hot in the middle of the night. It's, winter time. We should be like snuggled up wanting to be warm.
Yeah.
So, you get to share, you get
Hmm.
to open up and just have fun and laugh about it. I was telling a friend of mine a few months ago about wanting to be a stand-up comedian when I was younger.
Hmm.
And yeah, maybe someday I will, right? I'm out there to look for new things to try. Um, and who knows, you might see me on stage someday talking about midlife, and what's happening. And but I think that a huge part of life, what's something I've learned is that we don't need to take it so seriously.
Hmm.
We only get to do this once.
Yes.
And why not live life to the fullest where
Hmm.
we can just enjoy our friends, our family, love ourselves, and just really dig in and see what's out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I think yeah, that's you nailed it right there. It's like yeah, enjoy yourself, no matter what age, no matter what circumstance, no matter what body, right? I think you like you said earlier, women were so hard on ourselves. Like we most of us at some point in our lives struggle with body image, and it's okay. Like it takes long to get there, but it's okay to tell yourself that you love this body just the way you are, and because I think if you can't if we don't, not just you per se, whoever is listening, but if we don't start loving our own body, it's hard to live and enjoy life in it. you know so yeah, definitely. So I know you're not going to talk forever, but I wanted to kind of bring this to a close and give people a chance to go check out some things that you have there. So do you want to just let us, I guess, share with our audience a little bit of how they can connect with you, what things you have going on? If someone wants to, who a woman who's in their 50s need that transformational coaching that you offer, like how can they get a hold of you? How can they connect
Yeah.
with you?
Yeah. So I have a few things. So I have a sisterhood group, which is for all women, not just for women in their 50s, but there are women. I think the majority really is the older crowd. And I have an author page where I share really stuff from my Instagram. You can find me on Instagram as well. And if you want to work with me, you can find me on my website. So I think that you're going to have all that information for them to be able to click on. And yeah, it's just, I really want to do this in a positive way, right? When we're working with people and having fun and just being able to share and receive support.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, everyone out there, and every woman out there can join the sisterhood group, and it's fun. I'm part of it as well. Like I said, just I mean, you see Cherie, what's not to love? She's she's definitely uplifting and encouraging, and she keeps it fun, honestly. And then for everybody else, oh, every woman of 50 and older, and if you need that help to kind of just navigate those, that season of your life and finding yourself again and enjoying life again and exploring what's out there, definitely, Cherie is your woman. You want to get a hold of her, and we will post the links to her pages and groups in the description here. But again, thank you so much for being here, Cherie, and for everyone, go click on those links and follow her.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.